Kids Knitting Workshop readers. I am here today to show you a bit about an alternative to using the circular needles that you've been using in the book. This is the baby hat from the first project in the book. I have you just use these circular 16-inch needles to knit all the way to the end. Another way you can knit a small number of stitches in the round, like we do throughout the book, is to use these double pointed needles. They're just needles like this. They come in sets of maybe 4 or 5 needles. I like to only use 4 needles. I use 3 needles to form a triangle with your stitches, and then I'll use this empty 4th needle to knit onto. This is just really my favorite way to knit a small number of stitches when your number of stitches get so small that it can't even fit around the circular needle. So it's kind of a technique to use on a smaller number of stitches, like at the top of a hat, for example. This is a hat that one of my daughters is knitting for a charity baby hat drive. So I just pulled this out to use as a demonstration. Okay, so what you're going to do is you're going to get your stitches kind of evenly distributed on 3 needles. And if you are transferring stitches without knitting, all you would do is slip the the stitch onto the needle, just like this. And you would just do that all the way around. Or you can knit right onto the new needles. That's a great way to do it too. But let me show you quickly how you're going to do this. So what you're going to do is ignore these other 2 needles, and you're just going to work on this needle that's right in front of you. So you're just working on these 2 needles. Then you're just going to knit as usual, transferring your stitches from the left needle to the right needle and pulling the new loop through, just as you've been working on in the book projects. I'm going to speed it up here just to get to the end. You don't need to go this fast, of course. You can take your time and work 1 stitch at a time. And then what you're going to do when you get down here to the end of the stitches on that first needle, you're going to slide these stitches to the middle of the needle, turn your work, and move on to the next needle. The yarn will be coming out of the last stitch on the right needle here on the right. You're going to take your empty needle, and now you're going to knit onto this empty needle. So we're ignoring the other 2 needles with stitches, and we're just going to knit again, just as you would on any 2 needles, just ignoring the other stitches. And then I'll show you one more time how to move to the next needle. So as I'm coming down here to the end, to my last stitch, I'm going to go ahead and knit that last stitch. I'm going to slide my stitches to the center of the needle. That's really important for balancing the stitches, and also they won't slip off the needle. I'm going to get these next stitches ready. I've got my yarn coming out here on the last stitch of that right needle on the right. I'll take my empty needle and I'm going to start knitting. Now when I knit that first stitch, I want to give a nice tug here so that's nice and tight. That way you won't get spaces, or ladders they're called, on your knitting. And then I just continue on all the way around, knitting as usual. And there you have it, a brief review or introduction on how to use double pointed needles. I hope that helps. Have fun!